What's up, y'all? This is the Bagland Podcast. It's been a little while. We appreciate y'all tapping in with us today. First thing I want to start off with is something that I don't typically cover all the time. And one thing that I like about this particular thing is something that's not celebrated in music a lot, especially when it comes to black music. Now, back in the day, what you used to have is you would have R&B artists and brothers would have a situation where they have pictures. I didn't really see a lot of pictures of them and their kids, but you'd have them with a picture of a woman, okay? And I seen a picture of NBA Youngboy. This happened a couple weeks ago, but I seen a picture of him on his new mixtape. I want to pull that up and analyze it here. The mixtape, I think, came out in October 20th. And it was a Gangsta Grillz mixtape. The mixtape is called Ma, I Got the Family. And what I notice about the mixtape is something you typically don't see in the rap game nowadays. Okay? You see a picture of him and his wife with his newborn baby sitting on the couch. He's leaning on her shoulder like he's kind of taking a nap. He looks like he's tired. You know the man be on his grind. He's working hard. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because you typically don't see this. This isn't something that is heavily promoted. What you see is a bunch of niggas holding guns, smoking weed. You might see a tombstone or a dead body, or you might see a nigga pouring up some double cup syrup and all that kind of shit. You see that a lot. But these images are not usually marketed or projected by the dominant society. And when you're signing these record labels, they expect you to do the devil's work. So, you know, I thought that was pretty dope. I thought that was extremely dope. I thought that was extremely dope for them to come out with that. Hold on one second. Hold on. So that everybody know we're going live. Now let's see. Did they allow me to... Okay, so this thing doesn't allow me to... Okay, he said he's going to call in after the game. All right, hold on. Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about here. I'm getting a text. But I think that this thing, let's see if it allows me. See, one thing that I could say about the podcast machine, the Roadcaster, you want to have it set up. Let's see, can you turn on? Oh, you sure can. Oh, okay. All right. I spoke too damn soon. You can turn on the Bluetooth while you're recording. Okay, hold on, Road. Let me take that back. Let me correct that. I was incorrect on that measure. You can turn on the Bluetooth feature so I could take calls. Absolutely. I could take calls while I'm recording. But yeah, back to this album cover here. That was a very positive album cover showing a black nuclear family. You don't really see this as a commonality. You just don't. Because what society wants you to think is you don't have black nuclear families. You have baby mamas. You have child support. You have all the lower rungs of society that the mainstream media would tell you. And typically those things are negative. You're not really going to see these kind of mixtapes promoted. And I think that's a great thing. That is a great thing. So you know what? Never been a huge fan of NBA YoungBoy. I'm going to buy that album. I'm going to support that album because I think he might have something to say on there. So let's go on. Let's get to moving on. And I promise I will be reading the Cyber Sambo's report. I will be doing that. I might break it down into another video, but let's see here. Now, let's continue our music. Music by NK Music here. Now, I want to show some video that I found. It was some race soldiers that was harassing some brothers, and brothers gave them the work. It was at a mall. They thought that they could use the N-word. I played another video where somebody gave them the Sonic the Hedgehog hands. Let me go ahead and turn on the Bluetooth. All right, let's see. Let's make sure that the Bluetooth is good. So I'm going to do a test. A lot of good black media lives going on right now. Let's do a test here. Let's test it out. Oh, there we go. Since we doing our test, well, how about we just leave it going? I like that. This was a race soldier that was calling black people the N-word somewhere. Now this dude's walking away. He's calling black folks the N-word. He thinks it's okay that he's gonna be able to call black folks the N-word. Now he's walking away. He's trying to walk away, and they're like, "Hey, no, we ain't gonna go that route." He got his little North Face jacket or whatever he got. They mad. They surrounding him now. And see, now he's trying to pull up. He probably threatened one of them. Okay, now he got shot. Now they giving him the work. They giving him the work. Now a lot of race soldiers, look. A lot of race soldiers was mad because they were getting the work. You gotta watch that N-word. A lot of race soldiers was mad because they were getting the work. They were in the comments. They were talking about, well, oh, that was cowardly and this, that, and the third. Man, listen. They getting too comfortable. Oh, okay, he had to knock his ass out. Oh, white guy got him in the chokehold. He got him in the UFC chokehold. Now the brother got the other dude. He's giving the work to the other dude. It's a one-on-one. Okay, it was a one. Then they get stopped. They didn't want to go back to it. Must have been the Pope. It must have been the Pope. Now the main dude. Wait a minute. The main dude, he wasn't putting in too much work. It's always some Negro that's performing for the camera. A little scuffle. A little scuffle. Yeah, he's still talking shit. He caught an ass whooping, and instead of just catching his ass whooping and keeping it moving, he just wants to run off at the mouth. He wants to run off at the mouth. Gotta watch that word. Here's another thing. Now, if this dude was in America, he would have got smoked. Now, I seen this. This was interesting. And these are some dude. He wants to get it up with a cop in Mexico. He's trying to get it up. Now, look. The Mexican dude, he takes off his bulletproof vest. He's getting it up with the other dude. They really getting it up. Now, if this would have been a brother fighting the police here in Minneapolis, oh man, they would have got on him. They would have got on him. Quick. Okay, now they're trying to. Yeah, now, and his partner's just sitting there. He ain't doing anything. But yeah, if that would have been in Minneapolis, man, them brothers would have got shot. They would have got shot. Turn down the heat. Yeah, they would have got shot if they would have pulled one of them moves. I'm telling you, it would have happened to them quick. That was a big luxury. Found some other audio that I wanted to play. This was something about from an older cat, and I understand what he means exactly like that. We're seeing an influx of people in different outlets and platforms when it comes to the descendants of slaves getting their reparations. You're hearing a lot of coon talk. Typically, a lot of these folks come from different backgrounds. They don't come from America. They're people either first, second generation from other places, and they have a lot of slick shit to say because they know they're not eligible. But here's an older cat. This is an older black man, and he's basically speaking upon, well, the paperwork check. Where your people from? Now I'm going to analyze this as he asks this question real quick, because it's important. This is something that American black folks, we've been experiencing this since pretty much the dawn of time. We've been experiencing this amongst each other when we talk. And I want to analyze this audio.
Anyway, I was standing on Ann Braden's porch, drinking a beer by myself. And this little lady walks up to me, and she says, "Son, I know who you are." And I says, "Now, I don't know nobody in this group." And she says, "Where's your people from?" And I told her my father was from Smithfield, Virginia. And then she says, "Where your mom from?" I said, "Littleton, North Carolina." She says, "Ah." She says, "What was your mama's middle name?" I said, "Jenkins." She said, "What was your mama's first name?" I said, "Leah Vester." She said, "Oh, now I know who you are. You McKinley." I said, "No, I got an Uncle McKinley." She says, "I know. You exactly like him." This was Miss Ella Baker. She says, "You're just like him. He works with me in New York. And I know your cousin Oberdell in Baltimore."
Now see, that's the paperwork check. Where is your people from? By us asking you where's your people from, we know exactly what your values is 9 times out of 10. We know Uncle Sylvester. We know Sister Jones. We know, we know what kind of cloth you came from. When somebody asks, hey, where's your people from? When we ask, where's your people from? And we're not familiar, either because we may not know them, or if we can't find a trace of them, and nobody knows you at all. If you're unfamiliar and you have a shaky background, you might be from a family where it's some real janky, untrustworthy folks, where they can't be trusted. That's why Negroes will ask you, hey, where's your people from? Nowadays, we got to do paperwork checks. Where's your people from, bro? Because certain things that niggas be saying be so damn off code, you know that they folks ain't from here. And even American-wise, if they ask you, well, okay, where's your people from? Oh, well, those are the Jenkins people. Oh, okay, yeah, them niggas. You can't trust. They whole family's janky. That where your people's from means something. If somebody asks, hey, where's your people from? Well, my people from, some of them's from Mississippi, some of them from here. Oh, okay. So there's certain mannerisms, and typically there's certain behaviors that go along with that. Most of the time, there's typical behaviors that go along with that. Okay, well, if they folks was raised from a pretty good family in the South, okay, I can trust them maybe a little bit more. There's towns that's so small, y'all, and places where everybody knows each other. If you do some foul shit, that's foul shit on your people's name. And you get reprimanded for that. Okay? You get reprimanded for that. So nowadays we got to have paperwork checks. Now, I want y'all to hear this here. We're going to turn down the trap a little bit. I want y'all to hear this. Now, listen to this here. Now, you had Raphael Warnock, I call him Warlock Warnock. He brought Jim Crow Joe to the black church. And they was singing and dancing like it was a plantation spiritual at one point. But I want y'all to hear this audio. And I'm not sure if this was at that specific church at that time. But this was definitely a time where he went to a black church. Now listen to this.
Catholic, we used to go to 7:30 Mass.
Lying.
And let's say one thing to rest. I may be a practicing Catholic. We used to go to 7:30 Mass every morning in high school and then in college before I went to the black church. Not a joke. Andy knows this.
Now, that's what you say, Joe. But here's the problem, Joe. Here's the problem, Joe. Wait a minute. I gotta find this. Here it goes. Now, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. This nigga, and you should see this demonic Sambo sitting up there clapping his hands. Now, Joe, on the other hand, he looks like he's never been to a black church. He looks as confused as normal. He looked like he's never been to a black church. Listen to this. Matter of fact, I think that was the same church. I think that was the same church down there where he's desecrating and disrespecting Dr. Martin Luther King's legacy. That's the same church. Joe was just sitting there looking bewildered and sheepish as usual. First time at a black church. And all you Biden butt-kissing niggas that went out there and voted out of fear and all that, this is who you got in there to disrespect Dr. King's church. And you Atlanta niggas got this Raphael Warnock dude up in there as well. It's a big plantation jubilee going on right now. And Joe is looking very, very confused. I mean, he looks like he doesn't have a clue. Oh, they getting down. Oh my goodness. I mean, he just looks like a smiling plantation overseer. Oh, my pickaninnies and Negroes is getting down. That's how it looks. He's like, wow, never seen this before. And they singing like they just love to have those votes. The cringe. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I wouldn't even been in that choir. Oh gosh, the cringe. You know what? I think I lifted my band with TikTok. This is crazy. Amazing. This is beautifully amazing. Now, what is this here? Aaron Blake. Okay, so we won't cover that yet until I have more information. We won't cover that until I have some more information. Now, here's something else. I want to see what you guys think about this. Now, this is a little punk ass student messing with a teacher repeatedly. And see, they're not gonna. And see, this is another reason why we need an anti-black racism crime bill. This is a little punk ass Asian dude that's steady calling the teacher a nigger. You don't really see a lot of videos of black folks on video beating up Asian people, calling them out their name, calling them racial remarks and stuff like that. Black folks ain't really doing all that. They're not really doing that, especially here. And I'm speaking for the Wisconsin territory. A lot of people say, "Well, what do you mean by the Wisconsin territory?" Well, nigga, the Dred Scott decision happened up here. The Dred Scott decision, nigga, happened up here. Most niggas don't know that. Well, man, that happened in Wisconsin. Before Minnesota was Minnesota, they considered it the Wisconsin territory. You goofy bastard. Now, this dude is up here calling him the N-word. Let me play this. N-word after N-word. Oh, my mama. This down to 30 got his little backpack.
Oh, bro. Why your voice cracking, my nigga?
He had to walk away. He was like, okay, I'm going to beat this little bastard's ass. Why your voice cracking, my nigga? He's steady calling him, and he knows it.
Come on, bro. Yeah, walk the fuck back, nigga. You got me fucked up, nigga.
And he's standing in front. Now, you know what? I definitely don't advertise violence against children, but this dude, he's old enough Like they said, you 12 years old, you can follow the Lord at 12 years old. Let me tell you something. One of them little old school teachers, had that been back in the 60s or 70s, he would have got washed. First of all, your parents would have taught you well enough to where you're not disrespecting the teacher like that. But he's standing up, and the teacher probably told him to get out the class, or he probably told him to pipe down. He was talking shit. He's been a problem. This ain't his first time. This little bastard's been doing stuff like this forever.
Bro, I'm on, bro. Do you really say that shit, bro?
He's walking up to him in the middle of a pandemic.
Everybody saying that shit, my nigga. Bro, they lying shit, bro. Stop lying, my nigga. You the one lying, bro. I'm on mom, bro. Stop fronting, my nigga. You know you said that shit, bro. I'm on. Bro, say it too, bro. We're right here, bro. Everybody's watching, my nigga. What's up, bro? You ain't telling me shit. Bro, I'm on, nigga.
Now the other kids are watching.
Man, if we gonna take it.
Ooh, he said cut straight up. Yeah. Bro, why you shaking, bro? So you say that shit or what's up, bro? You say that shit, bro? You say that shit or what? I'm telling you, bro.
He's telling him you better leave. Then he tried to hit him. Whooping his ass. See? He tried to hit him. Hold on. Yeah, he tried to hit him.
You say that shit, bro?
He told him you better leave. You better move around.
I'm telling you, bro.
Now everybody wants to get up. He said, okay, now he's backing up. He ain't trying to do nothing. He ain't trying to do nothing. He's getting in his ass. And they probably gonna fire this brother. They probably gonna get him arrested and some shit like that. But you know what? A lot of these teachers are under siege. He should have whooped his little ass. Now everybody's talking about, oh, this, that, and the third. And the other little cowardly Asian dude tried to jump on him and hit him in his back. Yeah, get your ass out of here. I got hits on you. You see what I'm saying? I got hits on you. Yeah, that's too much. And that brother, he knows damn well that he's probably now going to get arrested. Here's another thing that I want to cover. Now, this was from the New York Post. Bizarre obituary praises a Utah dad, Michael Hart, who killed his wife and 5 kids. This is how far the dominant society will stay on code to protect race soldiers. This is something that they do on a regular basis. A glowing obituary for a Utah man who was suspected of killing his entire family in a murder-suicide plot said he made it a point to spend quality time with each and every one of his children, as an online fundraiser bizarrely replaces him with an image of Jesus in a family photo. Now, they believe that Halt, 42, gunned down his wife, Tasha Haight, Haight. I think Haight is the last name. It's interesting that's his last name. Natasha Haight, 40. Their 3 daughters, ages 17, 12, 7, and 2 sons, 7, 4, and on January 4th, 2 weeks after she had filed for divorce. So she filed for divorce. And after she filed for divorce, that's when he killed him. Also killed in the Enoch City massacre was his mother-in-law. So he killed his whole family. But an obit published in the Spectrum did not mention the killings and painted an angelic picture of the shooter, saying he excelled at everything he did after graduating from high school in 1998 as a sterling scholar in business. He achieved the rank of Eagle Scout, the tone deaf piece said. Can you imagine that? He achieved at everything he did. You also achieved murdering your whole family. I'm seeing a picture of this bastard. I'm getting some weird Mormon vibes here. Like one of them families from one of them Netflix documentaries. That's what it kind of looks like. gunned down his wife, his 5 kids, and his mother-in-law. They said Michael spent the summer after vacation working in Alaska in a fish processing plant. His leadership skills, values of honest hard work, and determination quickly led him to be a line manager and over a crew of 10 to 12 men. Michael was called and served a full-time mission to the Porto Alegre, South, Brazil for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Now, they said he met his future wife during their time at Southern Utah University, where he was named Outstanding Finance Student. They were married in the St. George Temple on May 10, 2003. Together they welcomed 5 children. Each of these children were a truly cherished miracle to them. Obviously, they weren't a miracle to him, obviously, because he wouldn't have killed them. He made a point to spend quality time with each and every one of his children. He enjoyed making memories with the family. It also said Dad lived a life of service. Whether it was serving in the church or in the community, he was willing to help with whatever was needed. Accused of shooting his family just weeks after his spouse filed for divorce. Meanwhile, a GoFundMe set up by the family bizarrely replaced hate with a picture of Jesus and a family photo. Now listen to this. The fundraiser, which doesn't mention hate, has raised almost $95,000. Their lives were tragically taken too soon. All who knew them loved them so much, the page reads, adding the donations will go towards funeral expenses and a memorial fund in honor of the 5 kids. Now, the memorial fund, I'm not really sure where that's going to go. Then it says Shannon Watts, an activist against gun violence and founder of Moms Demand Action, condemned the fawning orbit and shared a link to the Twitter, pointing out that none of the habitual comments mentioned the victims. But I have something that I want to play that I think will work. To represent who he really was and where he can rest. Oh, yeah. Yes. It said the eye-browsing orbit published by the mortuary was later made private. Enoch Mayor Jeffrey Chestnut said people were still investigating the motive for this murder-suicide, but that they were aware that court records showed Tasha filed for divorce on December 21, Insider reported. Tasha's sister-in-law, Jenny Earl, told the Associated Press that Michael had removed all the guns from the home before the shooting. She said the lack of access to firearms left Tasha Haight, her mother, and her children more vulnerable. Police said they investigated Michael before, suggesting previous problems inside the household. May Michael rest in peace. Yes, sir. You killed those beautiful children, you killed your wife, and you killed your cowardly self. May you rest in peace, sir. And here's a big problem. Here's a real big problem. Now, you have a situation where had this been a black man that did something like this out here in South Minneapolis, don't you know the GoFundMe would be nowhere near $95,000 for number one. Number two, they would have been bringing up, oh, his crackhead mama. Oh, he spent time at Oak Park Heights. Oh, he spent time in Stillwater. He is a Hennepin County this. He is a Hennepin County that. He has a gun charge. Oh, this officer arrested him. The gang task force. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, this, that, and the third. You would have just kept hearing it over and over and over. Oh, those poor little kids. Oh, he was a wicked man. He's going to burn in hell. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. That's all you would hear. That's all you would hear about this black man. And all they did was say all these positive things for him. You know why? Because race soldiers, what they will do is they will get on code with each other, and they will go as far as knowing that they did something that was demonic and diabolical, and they will override that and say, well, wait a minute, he served time at the church, and you know, he worked here, and he was a great manager. He killed his kids. He killed his kids. He killed his wife. He could have just moved on. He could have moved on. That's what he could have did. He could have moved on. Here's something else that I wanna cover. Now listen to this. Hold on, let's see if we can get this going here. Let me see if we can get this going. This is some video for the $5 Indian where the trial starts for killing the brother Deshaun Hill, the North High quarterback. It's so many damn... Okay, I'm waiting to get some audio here. I don't know when it's going to play. All right, here we go.
Underway for a man accused of killing a Minneapolis teenager. Jury selection began. This trial is underway for a man accused of killing a Minneapolis teenager. Jury selection began this morning for the trial of Cody Forencam. He's charged with second-degree murder for the death of 15-year-old Deshaun Hill just blocks from his school nearly a year ago. Hill was a star quarterback at North High School. Just last week, the Minneapolis School Board settled with Hill's family over the death. He was killed following an unplanned early release from school. This trial was supposed to begin in November, but was delayed so both sides could review new information.
We're going to have a conversation. That's another thing. Both sides could review new information. The defense asked for a delay because a large portion of discovery was not disclosed until mid-October and alleged unfulfilled discovery obligations by the prosecution. Okay? Prosecutors say surveillance shows Forencam walked past Hill moments before gunshots rang out and Forencam running off. He told investigators he was looking for someone who stole his phone. Now this bastard here, this dude, now initially back in February 22nd, the criminal complaint said that there is surveillance video of the incident that shows him walking alongside Golden Valley Road, passing Hill close enough to possibly brush shoulders. Now, when you look at this dude, remember I was talking about this before. Initially, you could not find any mugshots. When a black person kills somebody, you find the mugshots immediately. Now, his bail seems like it was set for $1 million. And when I did, Crime Watch, let me see if I can find some more information about this asshole. Okay, let's see here. They wouldn't even show his mugshot. That's how I knew he was white. Now I'm seeing here, February 22nd, it says view his Facebook before it disappears. Multi-time felon and violent offender. Now, let me re-jog y'all's memory. This was back in February. That I'm looking at Crime Watch Minneapolis on Twitter. Now, Hill was found with a single gunshot wound to the head. That sounds like an ambush to me. He was pronounced dead at North Memorial Medical Center. Over the course of the investigation, numerous witnesses and a surveillance video from the area helped investigators identify Thorncombe as a suspected shooter. Witnesses at the scene also lined him up. They executed a search warrant at the house where Thorncombe went after the shooting. There, they found a backpack with markings similar to those that had been in the surveillance video and that matched the descriptions from the witnesses. Now, when he was arrested, he said that he was not in the state at the time of the shooting. Then he changed his account of what happened, claiming to have been with a family in South Minneapolis, before finally admitting to being in the vicinity. So he lied 3 times. When I did a little bit of research on this dude, he was stealing phones in Duluth. He was doing all kinds of burning houses and arson, I believe it was. Then it says, after the interview with Thorncombe, investigators spoke with a family member who denied being with him on February 9th. Since his arrest, police have been informed of jail calls Thorncombe made seeking to create an alibi for himself. So then he lied again. He has 5 prior felonies and a gun possession charge. 3 were served concurrently. 2 convictions on violent crimes were stayed. Let me see what else I can find about this dude. Let me see what else I can find about this guy. Let me look at the other replies. Somebody says he likely identifies as Native. Very interesting they say that. Very interesting they say that, because I seen something online where he was talking about that. I seen something online where he was talking about that. And the city reached a $500,000 settlement after his shooting death. Minneapolis Public Schools, to the family of the brother who was killed following an unplanned early release from school. He was shot and killed blocks from the high school on a day that students were encouraged to leave early to attend a demonstration following the police killing of Amir Locke of Minneapolis. Attorney William Walker calls Deshaun's death preventable, saying he was headed home and he would be alive today if the principal hadn't released students without notifying the parents, giving them a chance to pick up their child. The principal was put on leave but reinstated a few months later. Now, Walker says he was the star of the team. He was an honor roll student. He was the captain of the football team and a star quarterback. Now, I watched a little bit of the documentary, and I'm going to break that down, and I'm going to have some very, very unpopular statements that I'm going to make when I break down an analysis of that documentary. I'm going to have some extremely unpopular statements that people are not going to like. I think it was Hill or it was some other students that were saying something of, well, I need to get my family out the hood. I need to work to get my family out the hood. That's your parents' damn job, to make sure that you're in a safer environment. That's not your job. And I'm really, it's really unfortunate what happened to that brother. It really is. But that's your damn parents' job. And if these women got boyfriends, you need to pick a nigga that could get them kids out of them environments and them neighborhoods. That's his job. That is his job as a leadership in the home. But if you got some lazy weed smoking nigga that don't look like he's going left or right, no, he's not going to be able to do that. He's just along for the ride. It really, truly pissed me off when I seen that. And another thing that I thought that was very strange, the way that the brother that was one of the coaches that was talking to Hill at Broadway Pizza, I thought that was really, really odd. Well, don't you like police? Well, you didn't like police until you found out. What did you think about him before? Well, I didn't like him before. Hill said, oh, well, do you like me less? Well, I didn't have a problem with you, coach, because I respected you. Well, police ain't do nothing to you. He was using a lot of real bait and switch tactics when he was talking to that boy. I thought that was very, very odd. There's a lot of very, very questionable narratives that's being placed in that Showtime documentary that I noticed. But I'm going to break that down at some point in time. But I just happened to notice a lot of those kids were saying that jobs that their parents were supposed to have. Well, I want to take care of my family. That's not your job, son. The adults in your life, that's their job. And they're supposed to accompany and support your dreams and and some of the things you want to do in a constructive manner. $500,000 is the settlement. That's also very unfortunate. Very unfortunate what happened to that brother. Would have much rather seen that brother alive than a funky ass $500,000. What the fuck is $500,000 going to do for a human life? The cost of a black life. And yet another thing that we need to cover. Black farming family in Colorado needs your help and fast. In 2020, C.W. Mallory and his wife bought 1,000 acres of pristine farmland in El Paso County, Colorado. With no help from local police, C.W. Mallory and his wife of El Paso County, Colorado has endured an onslaught of death threats, farm destruction, trespassing, animal deaths, and constant surveillance. Yet another reason for reparations. And there was an article. Now this guy, he looks like it's a suspected race soldier taking pictures of him. They've had to have surveillance on their land. It looks like they've been somebody's been messing with their fences. They've killed goats and sheep. That's some real foul shit. This really, really has some Cicero, Illinois vibes going to it. For my foundationals listening, you know about Cicero, Illinois. It's not looking good. Not looking good. So let me see if I can find out some more information about this here. Jim Crow Joe, where you at? Jim Crow Joe, where you at? I'm trying to find out where this is. I'm trying to find out where this is. This was somewhere. We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. So what else we got as we're going down the line? Politics, tech, and tangibles. Bars. Wait a minute. Shout out to Akon.
Hop in the jacuzzi in the scoop my cutie, do the movie in the dinner. Hop in the jacuzzi in the winter. You moving with some winners. A show in St. Louis with my niggas. We playing Call of Duty in the Sprinter. I pull up to that motherfucker dripping from my fitted to my sneakers. Ready to spit the illest lyrics, instrumentals, kill the speakers. I'm a reaper. I be putting every feature in the sleeper. R-E-S-P-E-C-T me like Aretha or get ether. Beta males get entanglement, Jada L's. When I'm aiming and banging shells in a grave where the haters dwell. And I pave them away to hell. Wanna play with a gator's tail and get bit. Whole clip paint them like fingernails. with no paper trails. Crime with no witnesses. Once again, your homeboy is rhyming whole sentences. Crooked done creeped in, behold, it's your nemesis. You don't need LinkedIn to know what the business is. Make that face, dog, give him the look. I'm reeling stands in like I put M on the hook. Lyrical crook. Scoop.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm going to keep riding on this coon-ass nigga. Gotta keep on. That's Crooked Eye from Long Beach, nigga. Talking about black Americans ain't got no stage presence or no bars. Nigga, stop it. Let me pull up some old Crooked Eye. Crooked Eye had one called Weekly. Hold on, let me see if I can find that. It was like a hip hop. Yeah, it was a hip hop weekly. It was a hip hop weekly. What year was that? Was that 2010? Man, hold on. Let me pull this up. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick.
We back. Line. Homie, just turn up your speaker. I remember when this came out. I was young and eager, had to fuck with the Tigre. Yeah, my budget bigger. Now the diamonds black and white chain, hot as jungle fever. Why you selling out for mass appeal? Not to mention you cotton picking out in massive field.
Come on, man.
Talking shit. If the elephant in the room is beef, consider me the.
Hold on, let me see if I can find. He had quite a few of them. He had a few of them that was dope.
To stay on our side.
Hold on, that ain't it. He had the Horseshoe Gang. These guys had a couple bars. I remember that. The Circle of Bosses, COB. It was Hip Hop Weekly. It was Hip Hop Weekly.
Hip Hop Weekly Reloaded. It's been a.
Damn, what was it? It was a Hip Hop Weekly. It was some years ago. It was some years ago. Was it 52 weeks? Hold on. I think it was. We Fly High. This is 2017. Hold on. We going to go through this a little bit. Akon got the game twisted.
Dynasty CO. Hit away. I'm burnt out. Hit my. Off the end of fan at a M, yeah, you my true fan. I ain't never needed a new stand, just a new stand.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Hip in the dead, hear it in the tomb. So when I'm spilling lyrics, I'm feeling spirits in the room. What up, Pop? What up, Big? What up, my nigga Pun? Easy E, what up, Low? Big L, what up, son? Up to Sam MC in Van City. The Penguins out in ice need hoes on me. I grew up so. Hip Hop Weekly, COB. Being broke is not an option. It's like breathing in toxin, blocking your oxygen, feeling boxed in.
Man, dude's really tripping.
COB. Hit him up with the COB light. Crooked tripping on Hennessy and Patron. Light him up, hit the enemy with the chrome. Julius Luciano, my nigga Kenny Siegel. Andrew De Niro, Demetrius Capone. JC will give you 3 to the dome. Sauce the boss, he putting weed in the bone like Cheech did with Chong. And my nigga Big Style got the keys to the beat.
Come on, man.
Yo, pay attention. Now, did I mention number 4? I know you heard this one before. Get your cash right before your ass go to war. Cause beefing on wax could turn into them gats.
Man, please.
For John McClane, I die hard with my squad. COB, my niggas is loyal. Fans make me who I am. I treat the listeners royal. It's like I got a sultan inside of my mind, feeding me lines slicker than oil, sicker than spoil. Food missing the foil. I'm outside the booth with what I recite. It's an out of body experience. My spirit's in front of the mic. We nothing alike. You'd have to live a year past 99 to keep it 100 once in your life. Open your mind. Here's hoping you focus your grind. The realest quotes ever spoken a rhyme. The discipline to write something down is the first step to making it happen. I'm Lee Crooked Eye of Coca with mine. Lot of rappers wanna be leaders, most of them blind. The others on the mountain getting their back broke from behind. Yeah, you acting for these fans in this industry, soap opera. In the booth, you Superman. In the pen, you a soap dropper. I don't
please. Don't ever speak on the Descendants. Don't ever speak on the Descendants, nigga. Niggas got it fucked up. I'm gonna play bars every single time. Bars upon bars upon bars. This is, y'all see, I'm a music connoisseur. Y'all don't remember them hip hop weeklies by DJ September 7th. Hip Hop Weekly Volume 1 by Crooked Eye. This was a great, time in hip hop for bars. Y'all tripping. Even let that nigga talk like that. Let me see here. What is this? Okay, so yeah, we're going to play Brother Marcel after a while. Okay, we'll come back to that. We'll open up this one too. I'll come back to that later. Y'all work with me. Now listen to this here. Angry 21-year-old driving nearly twice the speed limit kills mother of two in a rage-induced crash. Family outrage at a 90-day slap-on-the-wrist sentence. This is by the Atlanta Black Star. The family of a Nebraska woman killed in a car crash is furious about a judge's decision not to heavily penalize a 21-year-old behind the wheel. Relatives say his sentence of about 3 months is simply a slap on the wrist for a crime that shattered her world. On Thursday, January 12th, Douglas County Judge Jeffrey Marcuzzo ruled Jonathan McDonald, a man charged with a misdemeanor motor vehicle homicide for fatally running into a 35-year-old Regina Bright during a car collision in Omaha, Nebraska. He got 90 days in jail and 2 years probation. This dude ain't got, this suspected race soldier ain't got he has no remorse. Killing this sister. The judge also stayed on code. He mandated the young man to seek evaluations for behavioral and mental health because he was determined during the trial his aggressive actions during the accident were intentional and motivated by anger. Gave him 90 days. Bright's friend Precious Clark said in November after McDougall's no contest plea that if he gets out, it opens the door for other young people to think they can be mad and angry and go out. More the Rittenhouse effect. He was driving a 2017 Jeep. It said, wait a minute. It says police reports say on March 22nd, Bright was driving her 2017 Jeep Compass when she encountered McDougall on the roadway. They both attempted to make a left turn into the gas station at the same time. McDougall was speeding at 66 miles per hour in a 35 mile per hour zone when he crashed his 2011 Chevy Impala into her SUV, causing her unfortunate demise. Bright died on the spot. McDougall's punk ass died from non-life-threatening injuries and was taken to Nebraska. And see, this is a misdemeanor. It's a slap on the wrist. Omaha, Nebraska. Another place where black folks are getting the short end of the stick. Yet another place. And speaking of tangibles,
Japanese American.
I want to play this meeting with Brother Dixon here.
Who were told in concentration camps, they get told never forget. Well, guess what? We ain't gonna forget either. So this is an idea that we feel will help y'all. And I'm not saying y'all only gonna do it for political aspirations, but it can help y'all politically. It will help us, but most ultimately, it's gonna help South Carolina. It's gonna help America. Dawn is our special guest. This is an idea that she has pioneered. This idea is called the Office of Freedmen Affairs. It's like a state-level Freedmen's Bureau that will deal specifically with the needs, the data, and other matters pertaining specifically to descendants of American slaves. Those of us who can trace our ancestry, who are Black Americans, that can trace our ancestry to a person who was enslaved in this nation and who have been classifying ourselves as Black for our entire lives. Y'all probably have questions that Dawn's going to do her presentation, and then y'all may have questions and we can take them then. Dawn, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
That's Brother Dixon out there in South Carolina, especially a place where the Gullah Geechee folks, a lot of black folks had land out there where their land was stripped and removed from the acts of the Torrent Acts. Yet another reason. Now, look at this here. Now, this is Flo Rida. He was awarded $82 million in a lawsuit. $82 million. Now, they say he originally claimed he was owed around $30,000 for the contract breach, but over years his name grew bigger and so did the profits. So he argued that he helped Celsius become the giant that it was today. This is a common thing where black folks design something or they do something they're supposed to get paid for and they don't get paid for it. He says that the video, My House, promoted Celsius in the video. He said he helped Celsius become the giant it is today, starting all the way back in 2014, and the dispute centered around whether his deal with the company expired after it hit certain sales goals. The My House rapper claimed the deal didn't expire and insisted his music helped launch the brand to big profits, as evidenced by the now viral moment where he was grooving to his own music in court. Well, TMZ is a race soldier platform, but I'm going to go ahead and play.
Right?
Yes, prior to 2014.
And after 2014, you also had a song known as My House, right?
Yes, a record.
Tell me about My House.
Oh, yeah. My House was a record that I recorded, and that record right there was a global phenomenon. It was used in Super Bowl commercials, as well as that's one of the songs that I actually promoted the product that I love, which is Celsius, and the product, in the video, and that record right there made history as well.
Let's play a quick clip of that. I think we got like an 8-second, 10-second clip now. Is that My House?
Yeah, I'm comfortable. I'll sing. I could perform better than I can talk.
Yeah. Yet another reason for reparations. For black folks to get paid what the hell they're owed. This brother couldn't even get paid what he was owed. And he probably made them much more than $80 million. This is back in 2014. They're still using his song to promote the music. To promote their business. Now, let's look at Celsius and see what is Celsius. What is the business? Oh, fitness drinks. Oh, yeah. Pay up. Yeah. Y'all need to pay up. Y'all need to pay up. Certified gluten-free, kosher, non-GMO. No sugar, no aspartame, no fructose corn syrup. Yeah. Pay this nigga his money. Break bread. Beautiful website. Yep. Y'all go ahead and pay that brother his bread. Pay him his money. There's an FAQ. They got almost 500,000 followers. Yeah, it's expensive as hell. All on Amazon. They're doing their thing. Yeah, pay that brother his damn money. Pay him his paper. Pay him his paper. Speaking of which, it's this brother here. This hella on code from Haiti. This Haitian brother. And he talks about a lot of the things that we talk about here. And he gets on here basically saying, hey, he has no issue with with foundationals getting their tangibles. And I think it was hella on code. I just wanted to kind of play it. And just give him a big shout out.
Of American slavery, or are you a black immigrant? To whether you a descendant of American slavery, or are you a black immigrant, or are you first gen born in the United States, right? That separation and distinction between the two needs to happen in order for descendants of American slavery to create a proper justice claim to fight for reparations and a host of other legislative tangibles that they're entitled to, right? I respect that, period. You get what I'm saying? So I respect that separation that has happened and that needs to happen. And with that respect of that, I act accordingly, and I present myself accordingly as a Haitian, first gen born in the United States. So nobody ever gets too twisted or mixed up about who I am and what I'm about and why I do what I do. You get what I'm saying? Now, secondly, I want to say this as well, right? I have a deep and profound respect for the history and the legacy of the descendants of American slavery and the way in which they paved the way for my family to be able to come here to the United States so that I now have the opportunities to do the things that I do and to have a certain lifestyle that my parents could never have living in Haiti, and that I would never have had I have been born there. You get what I'm saying? The descendants of American slavery are the ones that uprooted all of the Jim Crow laws and the
Damn right. And you know what? That's another thing that people don't want to admit. When you have folks that come over here and they don't want to admit that, and it's not something that they don't know. We have the internet, folks know. They know. But when you have folks that come over here and they try to pull that old, well, I was, no. He knows. If he knows, you know. So, I thought that was very on code, hella on code, that this brother pointed that out.
The road to opportunity here in America was paved in the blood and the body and the sweat and tears of the descendants of American slavery that uprooted all these bogus laws and dismantled all these institutions, right? Without that happening, I'm not here. I don't get to be here. So it's simply a matter of respect. When it comes to politics and things like reparations and everything of that matter, or whatever your personal feelings towards Native Black Americans actually are, whatever it is, keep it to yourself. You feel what I'm saying? Just go on about your business. Like, that's respect. You can not like me, right? But just don't be out here disrespecting me and disrespecting the struggle, right? And disrespecting the lineage and the heritage and everything like that. You don't rock with reparations? Cool. Bro, then just fall back and do what you do. You immigrated here to the country. Go ahead on and make your money and do you, bro.
There you go. Shout out to that brother. I believe it was Black to the Future. Shout out to TD Hip Hop Media. I think it was TD Hip Hop Media that posted that. Sincere Love. Shout out to Sincere Love for posting that. And Sincere Love, I noticed they got a picture of Claude Anderson, Dick Gregory, Shahrazad Ali, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, Fuller, and I don't know who the other people are they got. I can't see it, but it was hella on code. Hella on code, man. I really liked what that brother had to say, because in so many words, he's calling out non-foundational coons that's been speaking against the descendants of slaves getting reparations and tangibles. And he's like, wait a minute, I'm over here because of y'all. I appreciate it. We need more of that. Because, see, ultimately, you got to think about it like this. What race soldiers have done is they have divided and conquered black people from around the world, and they have used deceit and deception and butter biscuits and benefits and everything else to divide black folk. And it wasn't hard for them to do. They started that hundreds and hundreds of years ago. But they've almost perfected it here in the United States of America. And with black folks here, where they parents were born, their parents and great-great-grandparents were born here, that built the country. The race soldiers right now are not very happy with the way things are going, because we're saying, well, look, you know, you could give billions of dollars to Ukraine, you could give billions of dollars to Israel, you could do this, you could do that, and every 5 minutes you're talking about what you can't do. You know, so, but you could do something for everybody else, but you have situations like what I played earlier. Bought and paid for Negroes bringing Jim Crow Joe in that's never been to a black church, and oh, you could vote for us and all that. No, we just need to work together, and we gonna get our tangibles together. But when you have situations like this as well, Iowa community wants answers after man filmed fatally stabbing a black woman is let go. Now, this is from Face to Face Africa. A white Iowa man was filmed calling his neighbor the N-word before fatally stabbing her after she got into an altercation with him and another woman. And though authorities arrested the two individuals in the wake of the fatal incident, they were later released. According to Iowa News Now, the incident happened January 2nd. The deceased black woman was identified as Devonna Walker. In the video of the incident, Walker and a woman who was wearing a black sweatshirt and holding a dog's leash are seen exchanging words about an attack that allegedly happened. So the way it's read here is, so you come back after me again. I'm going to press charges again, the woman in the black sweatshirt is heard saying. Please just get inside. Hold on, let's see if we can find, is there a video? Okay, this is cell phone footage. Oh, here it goes.
They're off to the right in the red shirt.
Okay, somebody got this, so I think they're narrating. So cell phone video shows fatal stabbing of Devonna
White
Walker.
cap, arguing with a neighbor about an alleged attack at some. To hear a man join in the argument after asking the woman in the black sweatshirt to walk away.
So this is some white lady that's holding the dog. So she says she's going to press charges again. I see a sister is standing here, so let me see what's going on. Some guy saying just get inside.
The argument keeps going for another 90 seconds or so. It gets more heated, more personal, until that man shouts a racial slur at Walker. As the woman in the black sweatshirt turns and starts to walk back towards the door, Walker re-enters the frame and charges her, pushes her to the ground in front of the door. The man in the doorway then appears to stab Walker with something. She stumbles away as that dog runs around her, and then she collapses in the grass. From there, it is more than 8 minutes until police and first responders arrive and CPR and first aid are started. During that wait, the woman in the black sweatshirt accuses Walker, who never moves, of faking her injuries.
Okay, let me look at this again.
Walk back towards the door. Walker re-enters the frame and charges her, pushes her to the ground in front of the door. The man in the doorway then appears to stab Walker with something. She stumbles away as that dog runs around her, and then she collapses in the grass. From there, it is more than 8 minutes until police and first responders arrive and CPR and first aid are started. During that wait, the woman in the black sweatshirt accuses Walker, who never moves, of faking her injuries. About 2.5 minutes later, this group realizes what really happened. We see the first officer show up about 6.5 minutes after Walker collapses. 2 minutes after that, law enforcement starts CPR. 30 seconds after that, the woman in the black sweatshirt is detained, cuffed, and led away. About 1:45 after that, Walker is taken away on a stretcher just as the man from the doorway is detained by police.
Well, earlier this afternoon, Lynn County Attorney Nick Maybanks and Cedar Rapids Police Chief Wayne German released a joint statement. They say they are still investigating because they want answers in this too. They add, quote, "We extend the deepest sympathy to Devonna Walker's family and friends for their loss. The process of a homicide investigation requires us to be deliberate and thorough in order to get the answers necessary to determine what, if any, criminal charges may be appropriate. They do.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to go. What they're going to say is, well, she ran up on the door. That's what they're probably going to say. That's what they're probably going to say. But it looks like that's what I think is probably going to happen. But it looks like it says advocates for social justice released a statement calling for the arrest of the people involved in the stabbing and release of the medical examiner's report. It says the full statement is saying January 2nd, Devonna Walker was found stabbed at the Cambridge townhomes. There are eyewitnesses and videos showing that Devonna was stabbed by a man, yet that man has not been arrested or charged with a crime. Furthermore, witnesses have stated that the man called her racial slurs before stabbing her. See, so that's an anti-black racism crime bill there. Because you called her racial slurs. You didn't get stabbed her, you called her racial slurs. So it's racially motivated, right? There's power with a black person calling, there's power with a white person calling a black person N-word. But me personally, I don't think that nothing's going to come up out of this case. I really don't. Something even worse has occurred that I'm going to spend time covering tonight. Town Hall covered this. Your white liberals won't, so I will. This is from Town Hall by Mia Cathell. This was released January 17th, 6 a.m. We investigated a suburban LGBTQ pedophile ring. Here's what we found. I'm going to play a lot of this, and I'll break some down.
They come in blazing with AK-47s or whatever.
How many people was it?
10, 15, a lot. They were doing like a drug bust or something.
Yeah, you can tell in Zach's mugshot that he has a big bruise on the left side of his face.
Yeah, they slammed him against the floor in the foyer. He had bruises on his knees, his face.
Now, right here, this documentary says a months-long town hall investigation reveals disturbing new details about the affluent LGBT activist couple accused of sodomizing their young adopted sons, ages 9 and 11, and distributing homemade child porn of sexual abuse. There should be a surviving pedophiles on Lifetime. This should be on Lifetime with millions and millions of viewers. For these sick demonic bastards, and may they rest in piss. May they rest in piss. They were selling these boys. The Democrats have not said a word. Not one of them. They haven't said anything. Nothing. They were arrested July 27th. I didn't even know about this. 33-year-old William Dale Zulak Jr. and 35-year-old Zachary Jacoby Zulak. These sick demonic bastards got married. They didn't want to do the regular thing. They didn't want to go and have a nuclear family. So what they did is they went under the guise of the LGBT so they could use some of their sick, perverted measures to pimp out children. It says a family member concerned about the well-being of the children shared their recorded jailhouse calls exclusively with Town Hall. And it's good they did that.
They slammed him on the floor, and I hate to say this, but I don't sleep in clothes, so they arrested me in my bed naked, put me in a cruiser with no clothes. I sat in the back of that cruiser from 11:30 to about 4 a.m. naked in the back seat of that cruiser while they searched our house for God knows what.
Now they said they searched our house for God knows what. These were the assholes. Apparently that's what it seems like. These are the assholes on the jailhouse. They sound real demonic even over the phone. They sat them in them cruisers for hours because they was in that house looking for all kind of shit. It says not only did the married men allegedly rape the two brothers who were adopted through a Christian special needs adoption agency. So these kids were not, they probably weren't mentally able to defend themselves. And they were pimping out their children to nearby pedophiles in the Atlanta area suburbs.
They seized the house, everything inside of it, all of our cars on the property.
The 7th count indictment charges the defendants with soliciting 27-year-old Hunter Clay Lawless and 25-year-old Luis Hernando Vicero Sanchez to perform an act of prostitution with their adopted child. So this should be a RICO. Y'all messing with Young Thug, they need to drop the damn case. Don't worry about Young Thug. We could wait. Send Young Thug at home so he can have some steak and eggs until he meets his trial. And they need to bring this case at full circle. This is why I will never support a RICO on black folks. When you got shit like this going on, I'm saying this publicly, I will never support a RICO against a black person because it's not an equal damn playing field. The RICO can wait. This shit is disgusting.
I think they took our house because they think there was extra money coming in from somewhere.
So they think they took he tried to say, well, they think they took our house because there was extra money coming in.
And we're like in our 30s and we have this big giant house and they didn't think we could afford it.
So he tries to play that, oh, they took our house because they didn't think we could afford it. No, y'all was getting big money. And listen, them pedophiles from the LGBT, they have big money. Huge money. There's a reason why they did that. Now it looks like Lawless. Now I'm looking. He got a Snapchat. Lawless, who snitched on the Zuluks, told law enforcement he received numerous text messages on Snapchat from Zachary about fucking his son tonight and to stand by for images and videos of the adoptive father sexually abusing the boy. These kids are gonna be ruined, man. Walton County Sheriff's Office. Hunter Lawless.
I mean, can I ask you, does this guy know you at all, or is it some random thing he's just trying to, rat somebody? I mean, can I ask you that, or?
So last time he was here, I told him something, and I told you last time he was here, I told him something.
Y'all,
I wrote
this reminds me of the Hart family. You remember them demonic ass lesbian cunts that killed those black boys and drove them over those mountaintops, them white supremacists? I seen that on Discovery Plus. This is the same kind of stuff. And they let them run wild. You haven't heard anything from the LGBT. You haven't heard anything from the Democrats. They have said nothing about this.
And brought him down something, gave it to him. It's something around those lines, but more.
Me and Zach worked our butts off for everything we've had.
And look at these pictures. Look, we worked our butts off. No, what you did. Now, they try to say they worked their butts off. No, you white supremacists, what you did is you pimped out children. They got a piece. These sick demons got a piece of duct tape over their mouths. Like, oh, no snitching. And one of them has a finger over the other mouth in a photo. It says no hate, no H8, no hate. But you would have to hate these children to do something like this.
In fact, worked our butts off for everything we've had.
No, you didn't. You didn't work hard. They admitted to sending the child porn to less than a dozen people. Okay.
And they called me out front again for fingerprints, and I saw the new charges that they're putting against I'm assuming both of us. There's 17 charges.
Oh, there we go. At the bond hearing, the judge presiding over the case mentioned the prosecution possibly proceeding forward on the Child Sex Trafficking RICO Act. Come on. Come on with it. Bring that Rico Suave in on them. Bring that Rico Suave.
I mean, are you worried about the boys? Of where they are? Or
I mean, yeah, but I definitely can't talk about that.
Why not? Our business is our business, the couple allegedly told their son.
I don't want to say it, but brace yourself for the truth. Okay? Just don't give up, honest. You talk to Zach, tell him I still love him.
I can't cry right now around other people. I just need somebody who doesn't hate us.
So you just need somebody who doesn't hate us. Well, guess what? Get ready for the booty bandits. I hope they bust their asses for the next 50 years in that motherfucking Georgia. They've been indicted on grand jury charges of incest, aggravated sodomy, aggravated child molestation, felony sexual exploitation of children, and felony prostitution of a minor. Those are life sentences in Georgia. And then they need to come around and hit them with some Fed charges. I can't imagine what happened to those babies, man. 9 and 11 years old, special needs. This hit me the wrong way, man, because what is this? How did an accused child rapist adopt 2 children? Is this part of the... Okay, so I want y'all to go on townhall.com, everybody tonight, and look at that. I don't know much about townhall.com, but it says here, we're going to go through this bits and pieces. A months-long town hall investigation reveals disturbing new details about the affluent LGBTQ activist Demons couple accused of sodomizing their young adopted sons, 9 and 11. They're the only outlet following up on a criminal case in Georgia. Been 0 headlines written about it. We found that it's far, far worse than what was initially reported. So this was reported. Okay, so this must be like a conservative site. Join us, fight against Biden and the radical left. Okay, whatever. But August 22nd, everything you need to know about the gay couple accused of sexually abusing their adopted boys. Yeah, these motherfuckers, they grimy asses on a motherfucking, they on a beach, butt naked. This dude ain't got no remorse at all. The bail looks like it was $25,000 on Walton County Sheriff's for sexual exploitation August 1st. We'll get back to that in a minute. So, yeah. So, hey, listen. Y'all can say whatever you want about these white conservatives. Let me tell you something. This should have been all over CNN. It should have been everywhere. Because, see, this could happen to anybody's children. This could happen to anybody's children. And I'm quite sure this is happening to black children everywhere. There was recorded jailhouse calls. Not only did the married men allegedly rape the 2 boys who were adopted to a Christian special needs adoption, they were pimping out the children to pedophiles in the Atlanta suburbs. So they were making a lot of money like that, talking about they worked their ass off. I'm seeing pictures of the kids and them on the beach. The suspects were darlings of the LGBTQ media, part of the anti-gay hate command, promoting No Hate and Out magazine that holds the largest circulation among LGBTQ monthly publications. He repeatedly asked them if the website's Pride page can feature the photos taken at the Atlanta Pride Parade. Man, y'all down in Atlanta better get on their ass. Adoptive fathers, 33-year-old government worker William Dale Zulak Jr. and 35-year-old banker Zachary Jacoby Zulak was previously accused of raping a child from Oxford, Georgia. They were previously accused of raping a child from Oxford, Georgia, have been indicted by a grand jury on charges of incest, aggravated sodomy, all of that. They're facing over 9 life sentences. They plead not guilty. According to a copy of the 17-count indictment Town Hall has obtained, the adoptive dads allegedly performed oral sex on the boys, forced the children to perform oral sex, and raped them. In at least one instance, the anal rape injured the older Zulak child, who just turned 11 in mid-December. Court records indicate the child abuse stretches back to early as 2019 and intensified in January 2021, March 2021, and December 2021. The brothers were in, they ruined these boys. They were enrolled in 2nd and 4th grade, respectively, before the men were caught in a midnight July bust at the Zulak mansion, which ended with Zachary tackled to the ground and William hauled off to the house naked by armed. They should have beat their ass. They should have did the same thing that motherfuckers did to Zimmerman and Mike Brown and all of them. They should have fucked them niggas up. And they didn't do that. Beat the shit out of them. William admitted, listen to this. William admitted to forcing his 11-year-old adopted son to perform an act of sodomy with the intent to satisfy his own sexual desire, reads a sworn affidavit filed in support of Williams' overnight arrest back in July 27. Walton County, Georgia. Where is Oxford, Walton County, Georgia? Let's look that up. I don't play about this kind of shit. Oh, here we go. Had them out in the sticks. Oxford, Georgia. A little ways from Atlanta. Not too far from Lithonia. Looks like it might be about maybe an hour away from Athens at the most. Conyers. I heard of Conyers, Georgia before. What did I hear about Conyers before? What did I hear about Conyers? Not too far from Covington. Yeah. So he's admitted that. Town halls redacted the children's name to protect identities of the underage victims. Okay. An updated criminal affidavit says the child abuse was filmed. Of course they did. By Williams' husband, Zachary, with whom he routinely engaged in sexual abusive acts on the boy. Zachary, the household's breadwinner, confessed to being the cameraman. And authorities allegedly found a photo on his cell phone labeled Us that contained videos of William sexually abusing the child. Can you imagine being a person in forensics child abuse? That's why I never really wanted to, with me being in IT and stuff, I wanted to I thought about getting into computer forensics. I said, man, now I would not want to be working for law enforcement or in any of those arenas. And, you know, when you're working under law, doing IT for computer forensic support and stuff like that, you know, you got to find stuff like this. You got to watch shit like this. I can't stomach that. I can't watch no shit like that happen to a child. So this dude, this mugshot, what's his name? William Dale Zulak, his little bitch ass, he's sitting up there looking all sad. The indictment also charges the Zulak co-defendants with soliciting 2 other men through the use of social media in the greater Atlanta metro area. So now I'm starting to look at the greater Atlanta metro area as a lot of pedophile rings. My eyes is on Georgia. And I bet it's a lot of this stuff going on in my town too. It's a lot of this stuff going on in Minnesota that needs to be called out. So this dude, so they were soliciting 2 other men. Perform an act of prostitution with the child suffered physical injuries for being brutally raped. Town Hall is the first to publicly identify these 2 alleged members of the pedophile ring in the heart of the Peach State. 27-year-old Hunter Clay Lawless, 25-year-old Louise Armando Vizarro Sanchez, both of Loganville. Lawless, who snitched on the Zulaks, of course, told law enforcement he received numerous messages during Snapchat about Zachary effing his son tonight and prepared to receive images as well as videos of the father raping his adopted child. Zachary met Lawless through a mutual contact, an identified man going only by the name Blake on the gay dating app Grindr. Following the virtual introduction, Zachary sent photographs and videos to Lawless of a little boy he referred to as his son. He said he's going to F his son tonight, stand by. As he messaged Lawless on Snapchat, he sent the pictures of himself abusing his 11-year-old child. After he was busted, Lawless denied having any physical contact with the Zulak boys, but told law enforcement that Zachary invited him multiple times to engage in sexual acts with him and his 2 children. So either way, he's already admitted it. A list of the state's evidence includes 149 images collected at the Zulak home, 2 flash drives containing Zachary and Lawless's phone data, sexual assault nurse examination results from the children's medical forensic exams, which gathered DNA evidence such as body fluids and documented injuries, a text message from Lawless, a Snapchat letter, 2 written letters from the older Zulak child, and a disc containing a data dump from Vizarro Sanchez's iPad and iPhone. A photo of a daddy t-shirt is also an evidentiary item listed by the DA's office. They got a So Cool Like Dad and an adoption shower. Let me go public and say something here. And I call upon all the parents across the nation. We ain't got to tolerate this shit. We simply don't. We ain't got to tolerate this at all. We don't. See, the problem is folks done got a taste for this LGBT pedophile shit. That's the problem. Don't nobody want to speak truth to power. You got too many folks and they're not calling them out. The LGBT down in Atlanta, down there in Georgia, if you don't agree with this and you just want to have your little alternative lifestyle and whatnot, y'all need to call these folks out. Y'all ain't doing it because you should be out in the streets of Georgia, hunting these folks down. That's your group. These are your folks. Y'all are responsible for this shit. Y'all should be calling these folks out. Hey, we don't touch kids. That should be the message. Wait, no, we don't do that. We do what we do, but we don't mess with no kids now. Children are off limits. I'm not hearing anything from the Crying Negro Network, Caucasian Nazi News, CNN. You're not hearing anything from them. They're not saying a word. The relative on Zachary's side of the family who agreed to speak with Town Hall in the condition of being anonymous grilled Zachary during a series of recorded phone calls in fall 2022 on exactly who Lawless is and how he knows the suspect. And then it says, I'm not going to read that part, but I think you heard some of that. But Zachary was, they placed him in maximum security due to the nature of the charges. Man, I mean, they did a great job. Raid and seizure. Big ass house. Big, beautiful house. Big, amazing looking house out there. Talking about they worked their ass off. No, you was selling children. They probably was charging $5,000 to $10,000, $20,000 a piece for those children. Talking about they worked their ass off. No, you were selling children. And y'all been doing this for a while. You don't just jump up and do something like this. Zachary, who lists a Snapchat username in his Instagram bio, where the self-prescribed activist brags about being papa to our beautiful boys, admitted to sending sex material to less than a dozen people. So he already admitted to it. There are other potential co-defendants under investigation that are out there circulating videos of the Zulac boys. Alcovey Judicial Circuit District Court Randy McGinley, who serves Walton County, told the court at a September 7th bond hearing, according to a transcript provided to Town Hall. They just view underage boys as sex objects, McGinley said of the Zulac co-defendants at the virtual court appendix. Now, the raid and the seizure, it says since the Zulacs have been taken into custody, the married men's assets have been seized, as they should. The vehicles have been forfeited, and their home is now the property of the state with a lien filed against it. The Zulacs couple's criminal defense attorney, John E. Hardy, said in court, adding that a sign onto the Zulacs' house says, "Do not enter, property of the Walton County Sheriff's Office." I don't think I would want a home knowing that happened to those children. I don't know who would want a home like that. Beautiful home, but it's too many demons in that damn house. I don't think I would want that. I don't know what you would want. I mean, you might be able to turn that into a place that fights against shit like this. So I don't know, man. But I wouldn't even want to be in a home like that. I wouldn't want to be in a home like that. He says it's BS. They took our house. So he was on an hour-long phone call. They seized the house, everything, all our cars on the property. They came in. I was asleep. Zach was asleep. They're going to bust down our door. They rammed the door down. Yeah. See, this is what happens to black folks all the time, y'all. This always happens to black folks. Talking about I don't sleep in clothes. You buck-broken bastard. They arrested me in my bed naked. And they walked me out on the front yard with no clothes. Yeah. Talking about they walked me out on the front yard. And he's sitting here butt naked on a beach right here in this picture. Naked on a beach in his Instagram. And he's worried about getting arrested butt naked. You like to rape and sodomize children, you should be just fine in prison. Just fine. And they try to say it was overkill. Now look at another picture. Look, they built this house from scratch, y'all. They've been doing stuff like this. The couple's dream house sits on a 2-acre secluded cul-de-sac in a private, prestigious, upscale neighborhood where pre-existing houses are selling for as much as $900,000. Construction of the mansion from the ground took only half a year in 2020. Quote, they said, the kids love the forest behind us and the playroom for all their toys, William wrote in a post celebrating its completion. Beforehand, the Zulacs lived out of a house in Snellville, which neighbors Loganville at the times were adopted. The couple's lavish lifestyle began to materialize about a year after the Zulac men got the boys. There you go, a family insider told Town Hall. So basically, y'all was selling these boys. You first started, what you did first is you tested them. You started to sexually abuse them, and then you started to sell them. And I believe that they got those boys because they knew that they were mentally challenged. They weren't able to fight back. Listen to this. In addition to the Zulacs considering purchasing the adjacent property, Zachary told friends they were looking to buy a condo over the next few years somewhere in Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, along the southern tip of Alabama's white sand coastline. So, okay, they were going to expand their operations. Getting ideas for our next house, William had cheekily captured a picture taken in North Carolina outside of the Biltmore Estate, a 250-room, 8,000-acre castle that is considered America's largest home and belongs to the industrialist Vanderbilt family. So they were out there getting ideas. William went on to accuse William County law enforcement officials of spinning some lies to seize our house. Talking about, I've come to find out that most of these police are officers in this county smudge and lie just so they could get a higher conviction rate. Man, get your ass out of here. Love is love and all that. See, they use all of that cap. It's okay if you're not ready yet. This is the Instagram post that they put. It's a tortoise. It's a LGBT tortoise with a rainbow colors, the LGBT rainbow colors, which they desecrated the rainbow. It's a tortoise that's inside its shell. And it looks sad. And in the Instagram post, it's a tortoise. An LGBT tortoise. It's okay if you're not ready yet. That's the caption that they use. Some are afraid to come out and be themselves because of fear of rejection and co-workers in society. Sad. Plus, I love turtles. You sick, devilish bastards. You sick, devilish bastards. You know where I say they need to rest. This shit blows me. No, not one media place covers this whatsoever. None of them. Somebody said, it looked like a family member said, Zachary seemed like an animated people pleaser with a penchant for self-promotion. Now the case has destroyed the illusion of who I thought he was, the family member said. What a narcissistic sociopath. Another relative conveyed to Town Hall's Insider that Zachary's overachieving persona was nothing more than a facade to portray a public image of success, while the once blue-haired William, who was a quiet and hard-to-read one, always made my skin fucking crawl. The family is questioning in hindsight how a low-level civil servant and a small-town bank teller could indulge in such niceties. After an application was submitted for representation by a public defender, a letter addressed to Williams shows that the county's indigent defense program found he is ineligible, citing equity ownership in his spouse's whopping $7,500 a week income. So yeah, I was correct. I wasn't lying when I said what I said. You got a banker and then somebody working for the government. Y'all ain't pulling in more than $100,000. I looked at that house. Y'all ain't making enough money for that damn house. And it says they making $7,500 a week. What the hell? How are y'all making $7,500 a week? You got one banker and one person working for the city. You ain't making no $7,500 a week. You're selling those boys. That's what they did. It says a similar denial memo was also sent to Zachary, who handles their money, pointing out to his supposed well-to-do weekly earnings. According to Zachary's since deleted LinkedIn page, he was a branch coordinator at the SunTrust Bank in Duluth, a career he touts on Pride-themed t-shirts. But the latest Glassdoor data says the position only carries a modest $62,000 in annual pay. So there you go. He's making a maximum of $60,000. And then the other dude is making probably around, it still ain't enough to live out there for a $900,000 house. Town Hall contacted the site's bank supervisor to confirm whether or not if Zachary is still employed and truly making six-figure salary. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to make any comments, the duty manager said, and that's, they don't normally do that. But it says Zachary took vacation time using leftover PTO for the first week or two in jail. Then he tried to place himself on a leave of absence, but management wouldn't hear his plight. And it says, I'm pretty sure I won't work here anymore, which is fine, because I didn't like it anyway, so it's whatever. But I'm pretty sure I don't have a job anymore, Zachary told his family member. So, like I said, these demons right here, may they rest in peace. They're lying they're one of the most manipulated people everywhere they go. I'm looking at all the pictures. Man, I mean, y'all got to check this out. Yeah, this should be a RICO. And this is just the first part of the Town Hall investigation. I'm going to let everybody read the rest. But yeah, this is too much, man. This is too much. And this is just the tip of the iceberg, what happened to these children. This shit's probably happening all over Atlanta. All over Atlanta. I mean, I really just think it's really mind-blowing. It's really mind-blowing, man. One thing I want to say here, I might make a quick little analysis. Now, Diamond, this is Silk from Diamond and Silk calling for an investigation. And I think she's talking about the jab. Now, I want to play this at the very end here.
America to wake up and pay attention because I saw it happen. I saw how it happened. I was there when it happened, and it happened suddenly. I want America to wake up and pay attention. Something ain't right. It's time to investigate what's really going on here and get some answers to why are people falling dead suddenly.
Telling you, something's going on. Just seen this today as well. There was a Rasmussen, it's basically a Rasmussen support poll states that 73 million people say they personally know someone whose death may have been caused by side effects of the vaccine. Let's see if we get some video.
Hello, I'm Mark Mitchell, and I'm head of polling at Rasmussen Reports, a renowned independent polling company. Last month, in December 2022, we conducted two polls, which, make informed conclusions by themselves. And I'll explain a little bit about the methodology at the end for those who doubt the science of polling. Okay, now on with the questions. Asked of the 68% in our first poll who said they were vaccinated, do you believe you have experienced major side effects, minor side effects, or no side effects from your COVID-19 vaccination? 41% say they experienced at least a minor side effect, and 7% of them said they experienced a major side effect. 56% said they experienced no side effect. I won't read all the numbers here, but I will show you graphically each major demographic, and you can pause the video if you're interested in seeing them. One of the things you can look for here is whether you think the results are consistent across and among demographics. Here is gender, age, race, political party, and income. In this poll, 68% of respondents were vaccinated. Since there are approximately 260 million American adults, that implies that 177 million of them are vaccinated. According to our poll, with a 41% side effect rate, that means that 72 million Americans have experienced at least a self-identified minor side effect. Using a 7% major side effect rate, 12 million of those 72 million Americans experienced a self-identified major side effect. Asked of all Americans, do you personally know anyone whose death you think may have been caused by side effects of the COVID-19 vaccines? 28% of adults said yes, and 61% said no. Since there are about 260 million American adults, that implies that 73 million people say they know someone personally whose death they think may have been caused by side effects of the COVID-19 vaccines. Once again, here are the major demographics, so you can look for trends and consistency.
Well, I'll let y'all look that up yourselves. I'm reporting the news, okay? I'm reporting the news. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure they're gonna ding my channel. But it is what it is. I look at these scholarly articles from Science Direct, and it looks like it was a scholarly article. And if you go to ScienceDirect.com, the title is Serious Adverse Effects or Serious Adverse Events of Special Interest Following the mRNA COVID-19 Vaccination and Randomized Trials in Adults. Several people authored this report, and looks like it was called Volume 40, Issue 40 of the 22nd of September. So it looks like it says in 2020, according to the vaccine rollout, the Brighton collaboration created a priority list endorsed by the WHO organization of potential adverse events related to the vaccine. We adapted a Brighton collaboration list to evaluate serious adverse events in the vaccine trials. So the methods were secondary analysis of serious adverse effects, reported in the placebo-controlled phase 3 randomized clinical trials of Pfizer and Moderna mRNA COVID-19, focusing analysis on the Brighton collaboration, adverse events of special interest. So let's see here. Let me break it down here. Okay, they talk about the methods. What are the results? Moderna reported SAEs from dose 1, whereas Pfizer limited reporting from dose 1 to 1 month after dose 2. Both studies reported all data at the time of data cutoff. Let's see here. Wait a minute. Jeez. This shit is pretty... What is the conclusion? Oh, let's look at it. I mean, this is heavy. These scholarly articles, I don't even want to... Let's see here. Man, holy shit. I'm going to let y'all look at it. These scholarly articles sometimes have some good shit. But yeah, I don't even want to read through it completely. Because, man, it's just... It's crazy. But what we want to do is... We want to do an analysis.